Welcome to my strategy series. In these videos, we look at quick ways to analyze the markets. And in this video, we're going to be talking about what to do when a trend breaks. So first off, I hope you're in your position trade on this one because it hit the perfect moment just from the last video. No, kidding, completely. Obviously, you won't be in this trade. You're not here with me. But if you were, I want to see a trade. So let's talk about trend breaks. This is a very common thing that happens where you have a trend, it goes, it tries to break it. People start shorting like crazy, and then the trend completely rips the other direction. This is because trends aren't hard closing. So what happens with trends is this. There's a lot happening. A trend is not infinite. It exists and it adapts and it constantly is evolving in the criteria. In the moment, it's constantly evolving and showing you, hey, I just broke this 5-minute level. I'm going to adapt the trend to the 3-minute level. And then it breaks the 3-minute level and goes down to the 1-minute level. And it keeps decycling itself until it hits a 1-minute level. And then the 1-minute level hard closes and it completely explodes. So these trends are always evolving. And if you were to take a short at this trend because you thought it was breaking down, this is a common occurrence. Man, this is so common. Anything can hold this trend up. Anything in the world can be a ladder point. It can be there's a hold level, there's a reverse level. There's all this criteria. For this reason, we never actively open new trades at trends. Rather, when a trend breaks, you take the level that's protecting the trend as your target. So an example of that would be going back to the 1-hour time frame here. Earlier in the day, if you thought this trend wasn't going to hold, you would take the attack of that trend by buying this level and shorting this hourly inverse level here, this hourly inverse hold level. You would be saying, I'm attacking the trend below by taking this short. Alternatively, if you were to take a short in the moment here, how often does a trade do something like this, where it breaks under, and then it rips over top of it? If this thing keeps laddering right now, well, guess what? Let's just draw a trend and see where we're at with this thing. So we got this to this right here. Maybe it's going to hold this. Maybe there's a different time frame here that's in play right now, like this to this one. Maybe you've got this trend in play right now and you're going to hold that same level again and you're going to rip right over top of trend when this thing breaks up, if it decides to break up. It's such a common occurrence and you can never play trends like this for that reason. You always have to play them from the hold level on another spot. The best way to play trends is if you were in a long position from, say, down here, right? You have a long right here because you caught the very bottom of the move. Once this trend breaks, that acts as a trigger point or a release to your trade. The way we use trends in trading is to not buy them for breakout moments, because when a trend is breaking, there's a lot of levels that can hold it. So if you're buying trends for breakout moments, a lot of the times you're going to suffer losses. Instead, you should set a criteria. Like if the 1-minute candle hard closes this, I'm out of the trade. And it acts as a mechanism to lock up profits and protect your account from a big dump instead of a mechanism to enter a new trade. Because it's a really high risk position to just enter a trade on a trend break. Like right now, I'm not sure what's going to happen with this move, but let's pretend this is going to break. So we just bought a short and let's see if this thing shorts. You're kind of sitting here with your fingers crossed and you're just like, oh man, this thing's breaking down. I'm praying this thing breaks down. But you know, right now it's kind of laddering its move. It hasn't hard closed this trend yet. And then who's to say it doesn't have another trend that it's going to try to respect like this? Who's to say it's not going to hit that? So again, pretend like we're in a short and all of a sudden it starts regaining its level and now you're in negative profits. What do? Well, it could still break down. What if it hits this inverse level and goes down? Are you just going to hold it and lose money as it recovers? Right? So for this reason, you can never play trends because they are way too risky. Instead, what you do is you have your trend and you use it as a mechanism to release you from a trade you're already in. So trends can only ever act as trigger points to trades. They can only ever act as, hey, here's a trend. I'm in a trade already. If it hard closes, this fits my criteria to get out of my trade. And you've set up the perfect scenario against trend. Trend breaks, you're in profits. You're not willing to take losses in trading. That is the number one thing. Protect your account, protect your capital. Set mechanisms and different criterias for triggers on your trade. Therefore, I call trends trigger points because of reasons like this. How many times do you buy a trend breakout? And it's like, oh man, look at this thing is now holding and we're moving up. Like I told you, this can just simply ladder its move from back here because the trend was never broken. Even going back to this 5-minute here, forget this one. This was never hard closed. So the bigger trend is still in play. And then go to your 15-minute trend, which is this guy. Well, this guy is just recovering. And how often? Well, I guess it would be an hourly here. Yeah, it would be an hourly. And how often does this happen when you're in a trade? And now what if it dumps? You just left your short, you took losses, and now it's going to dump. And it's just like you're just compounding losses on top of losses on top of losses. So you never, ever, ever play trend breaks as new positions. Rather, set a mechanism, set a criteria, one, when you're in a trade to say, if this hard closes, or if we lose this trend, I am actually out of a spot that I'm already in profits on. Easier said than done. But the trick here is to never, ever, ever buy trend breakouts. And if you're going to, you buy them at the levels of inversion. Even right now on this chart, if you think this is going to break down, go find the trail of levels that it's hitting and buy that level instead. So we know that the hourly already got hit, right? This hourly already got tested right there. So let's move down in time frame and see what we can find. Here's the 15-minute level right here. Okay, that already got hit. What about this one here? Okay, there's a 15-minute level. Forget the hourly. We already know that's there. This trend on top may compress it. Let's find the greedier 5-minute point inside of there. What about this one? Okay, there's the 5-minute point that never really got tested. What about a 3-minute? So there's the 5-minute right there, which also kind of coincides with a 3-minute. So this is starting to look like it's kind of a smart spot if we want to play this trend break. So if we're going to say, hey, I want this trend to break, don't ever short the trend. Wait till it comes back to the level of inversion and buy that level. Because if the trend is truly going to break, it's going to break off an inverse level. Just like when you have trends break up through levels, they usually get held up by some type of hold level that continuously props the move up and continuously helps it move up. Heck, if you were really impatient, you could even enter this 1-minute hold level, which I don't think would be very smart. But if you were really impatient, you could go after this one here. I think this one up top looks great. I think this looks like a nice spot to short if you agree that the trend is going to break. And that's it. Yeah, I don't think this is a good one. I think you'll have a small reaction, but who knows? Maybe this is the actual level. Look at that. The 1-minute candle might hold it down. You've entered a short. Now you can see that if this move continues to go down, this is what could break the trend. And therefore, you're never really going to get into any losses attacking trends because you're never actually going to buy the trend. Instead, you're going to be buying the points that attack the trends. And you're already going to be in trades on the other side. And when that trend breaks, it releases you as a mechanism of protection in your trades. So this is the way we do trends. This is the way we play trend breaks. And yeah, long story short, don't buy trend breaks because you're going to get yourself into trouble with them. See you on the next video.